Hello, everybody. This is Jose here. We are about to start in 20 seconds. Let's use this time for a sound check. Please go ahead, confirm that you hear my voice. I guess everything should be okay, but it would be good to have confirmation with a quick message on the chat box. That way I know we are ready to start. Okay, we just got to the top of the hour. And I'm going to maximize the introduction slide so we can get started. Very good. Thank you so much for confirming, Bill, that the sound is good. So that way we can start on time. It's all good. It's all perfect. Very good. Osman, how are you as well? Good to see you. Good to see your messages, everyone. Very good. So let's begin. Welcome to the session, everyone. Today it's February 4, 2020. Let me do this. Here we go. How are you, my friends? Today is, as I was saying, 4th of February 2020. My name is Jose Blasco. I will be your guide, and today I am guiding you into the world of intraday trading. So we'll be looking at short-term market opportunities, where to take advantage of potential market moves, enter safe, profit the most we can from them in a realistic manner, and then do it again. That's the plan. Okay, we're gonna be using futures and Forex to do that. We're gonna be exploiting lower time frames. And before we start, I only got one more thing to do, which is to read the disclaimer for you, like we always do. So let's go for it. Disclaimers. The following videos, clips, demonstrations are for educational and instructional purposes only. Traditive provides these videos purely for the purpose of demonstrating a method of using the product. Users understand that all the content used in the video is purely for demonstration purposes only and is not a guide and does not provide any indication or prediction of actual results. As a user, you understand and agree that hypothetical results obtained through demonstration do not indicate in any way the results you may receive when using our products. And here we go. This is the introduction for the session. The session is now officially introduced, and therefore we are ready to get started. Okay, I see Lisa joining us as well. How are you, Lisa? Nice to see you. Very nice. So let's go for it. Okay, let's get organized. Again, every time that we're doing the sessions, sometimes live, sometimes recorded, because obviously everybody, some of you are busier than others, and occupied with different responsibilities. And sometimes you guys attend the sessions live, sometimes you guys attend the sessions recorded. But the fact is that it's always healthy, given the fact that every time we got more members in the community, it's always healthy to kind of very quickly review what we are doing. And in that sense, I'm pointing at the bottom left of the screen where it says futures, okay, meaning that all the markets on the left are going to be futures markets that we're going to use in our trades. The ones that are the most liquids, we will look for climates in the 15-minute time frame, as you can see on the top. This is the NASDAQ, the Euro, crude oil, S&P futures, and gold. Then still in the futures markets, we're going to be looking at climates of 60 minutes for natural gas and the yen. And then finally below, we got lean hogs with 240-minute climates. Okay, so we're going to be looking at all those markets in the futures exchanges. They are more, okay, they are more, but those are the ones we're going to be using. Then in the middle and the right, we got Forex, okay, but notice on the right, it's minors. So everything will be done with the 240-minute time frame. Would not be wrong to drop to 60. It's okay, and make yourself a little more active. But again, since we have many markets on the screen, I reserved the 60-minute time frame for the majors, as you can see in the middle part. And also, of course, why not? Let's take a look at the 240-minute time frame as well for the majors. Okay, so again, so some of you guys may be working with different lists of markets to be traded, lists that are different than mine. If that is the case, is certainly absolutely fine. But just keep in mind that the reason why I have the list set up the way I have, is actually not only one reason, but multiple reasons. And basically, we are talking about volatility, liquidity, etc., etc. Those are key reasons, and therefore those are markets that I would classify as valid and certainly good markets to identify good opportunities. Okay, but there are more. That's the beauty of the markets that we trade. Okay, so good. Having said all of this, okay, what are we looking for? We are looking for golden lights. Okay, all these golden alerts, all these golden flashing lights indicate a potential opportunity, but it's not enough that is flashing golden. Okay, there is more to check. For example, the word. Okay, notice how here we got the word sensible, where here on the top we got the word hopeful. Okay, well, hopeful means that even though there is a specific market direction, we are a little bit late to the party, and therefore entering in that direction is a little hopeful. Well, entering when it's sensible means that not only you're entering a market direction that makes sense, on top of that you are not late to the party, so it's sensible to trade in that direction. So we're going to be looking for golden lights with the word sensible. That's what we look for. But not only that, notice how also on the left, sometimes we got a gray box. Okay, you can see it there, gray box. Okay, here we got another gray box. Okay, on the right, we have a bunch of gray boxes. Well, the gray boxes means that even though there is some direction, for example, you can see here red color, so the direction is down, or here blue color, so the direction is up. But the gray color kind of invalidates the direction in the sense that it's not fully confirmed, and therefore trading in that direction, it's not the highest probability. So if you think about what we have on the screen right now, even though we do have a sensible trade with natural gas, the problem is that with the gray box, we also know that for natural gas, the direction is not fully confirmed. So even though it's not a crazy trade, it's not the best. Where if you were to look at the one on the top, which is golden, and we got the word sensible, and we also got a color under the column climate. Okay, so what is that telling you? Well, that's that telling you that the Nasdaq, it's clearly moving in a specific direction. We are still on time to enter the trade, and therefore that's gonna probably be a better opportunity for us to trade. Okay, so having reviewed key concepts that some of you know very well because you use that every day. Okay, we're gonna now begin the session loading the NQ, which is the Nasdaq futures. Okay, and we'll be able to evaluate on the chart if that opportunity happens to be as good as climate suggests, because of course there is more than the climate. There are other elements that confirm if a trend is valid or not. Okay, Orlando, very good to see you, my friend. It's been a long time we haven't seen you around, so it's good to see you. Is hopeful short a pre-signal to sensible long? Sometimes yes, sometimes not. Okay, there is a saying in Wall Street, a very common saying, which is that the markets can remain irrational for longer that you could remain solvent, right? In other words, the fact that the trade shows as hopeful means that probably that market is overstretched, has extended too much to either the upside or the downside. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that a change of climate is ready to happen. It just means that entering in that direction, it's just a bit too late. Okay, so again, this is an indication for you to know if it's still time to trade in that direction or not. Okay, which is question one of the methodology. Okay, good. Now, so what do we have? Okay, so we have the Nasdaq futures. We're using the H symbol. Okay, when looking at the climate, we have a climate that is supposed to be a climate for 8 candles in the up direction, where the current climate has been lasting for 7 candles, meaning that the current candle plus the candle after are still valid for us to enter a trade. The current time is 9:08 in the morning, New York time. We still got until 15. We got like 7 minutes. Okay, so we got 7 minutes plus 15. We got 20 plus minutes, 22 minutes to be precise, for us to still execute a trade on the Nasdaq future. Okay, so all of this is looking good, and therefore the next question will be, okay, so if I'm going to take a trade with the Nasdaq future, which is going to be my entry price? And remember, we want the entry price to be aligned with the EMA, the moving average exponential. Okay, and that is 92.5075. Okay, so in this case, we certainly have an entry point where that UFO is. That UFO here is too low. Okay, but that UFO in the middle of the screen is certainly a valid entry point. Fortunately, that market already went there, so I'm not sure we're going to be able to execute this trade. I mean, the UFO is still on the screen, so technically it's still valid. Okay, so we may need to run a little bit here. I'm just a bit concerned. Let me check. Yeah, you can see the wick already hit the wrong circle, which is where the majority of unfilled orders are. I mean, you can see how it's bouncing neatly from that round circle. And that means that many of the key orders probably are in the process of being filled, or have been filled, or something like that, meaning that anytime we may see that UFO go away. Okay, so we may begin planning the trade to then conclude there is no trade because the UFO went away. But just in case, let's go ahead and do the process, and get ready to execute this trade. Okay, so basically, notice how here on the Nasdaq, okay, I'm using the 15-minute time frame. I am loading my AutoUFOs. Of course, this is a trade to the long side, so I'm looking for red UFOs. And what happens? I got no red UFOs. Okay, there is no red UFOs. They're only green. Why is that? Well, probably all of you know, okay, that the Nasdaq, even in a monthly time frame, okay, it's making all times high. So no wonder there is no sign of sell on field orders, because this market is just going up nonstop. Like looking like it's going to the moon. Is that making sense? So in cases like that, certainly you cannot find red UFOs. And therefore, in cases like that, the rules that we have on how to deal with such a market is that basically what we do is that we just trail stop. And by the way, unfortunately, the UFO just went away, as I was kind of expecting could have happened, given the fact that that inner circle was hit on the price chart. Okay, so we're gonna have to wait. Okay, and this doesn't mean anything. Any moment in time, we may look at this 3 minutes from now, and we may have a new UFO waiting for us there, lining up with 90 to 50.85. So we'll be watching for that. Okay, in any of those 3 edge time frame, we may find that setup. Okay, so we'll be watching for that. Okay, so in the meantime, I'm gonna go back to the radar screen. Let me take a look at comments there. Bojan, I see you, my friend. How are you? Pansy, I see you as well. How are you? Very nice to see you. Very, very nice to see you all joining us regularly and taking this seriously, guys. It really makes my day. So anyway, looking at the futures markets here, we have nothing else which is sensible and confirmed. As of now, it's only the Nasdaq, okay? It's only the Nasdaq. Yeah. That's what we got. And everything else, by the way, got the word hopeful. The only one sensible is the natural gas, but it's not confirmed. So in other words, it's either we're going to see changes of climate, 1 or 2 candles from now, and we'll see if that's the case or not. Or we're going to have to wait a longer time until the climate, changes. I don't know, maybe 1 hour later, after the market opens or something like that. We'll see. We'll just react to what the market gives us. In the meantime, a good time to also start looking at Forex currencies, okay? And we got here US dollar, Canadian dollar with a flashing golden light with the word sensible, 1 candle into a climate of 7 candles. So this is looking nice, okay? At least on paper. And we certainly need to go ahead and look at this more precisely and carefully on the chart, because what AutoClimate suggests is actually what could be a very nice trade. Okay, it could be a very nice trade because these type of trades. Let me remove the symbol name label. Here we go. So what we got here is a climate that recently got started. Okay, and if the climate is going to propagate like it normally does, so from there we may ride a powerful move for multiple candles, okay? And therefore, it's certainly a good time for us to enter the trade, okay? Now, the moment we got this properly identified, the next step, okay, is to identify the average price, which is 132.82, okay, and identify this on the chart. And 132.82 basically is where we are right now, okay? That's where the average is, okay? And the problem I'm having when looking at this particular trade is that in the 8-minute time frame, there is no UFO. Okay, I wish there was some sort of a UFO there, okay, like this, something like that, because that would allow me to enter the trade. I would have the setup I'm looking for, which is an EMA that is being enveloped by the UFO, but we don't have it on the 8 minute time frame. Okay, so if we don't have it in the 8-minute time frame, the next question is maybe we do have it in the range time frame, the 8 range time frame. Okay, and notice that we do have a couple of UFOs right there, where the top one, it has a starting point at 81.7. Certainly it's fair to call that 82. Okay, so yes, we do. So those two UFOs that are so near to each other, I would like to propose that we treat them like it's a big, large UFO. Okay, let's treat them like it's a big, big UFO instead of two. Okay, and in that sense, we're gonna be looking at planning a trade here on the Canadian dollar, expecting the Canadian dollar to fall just a little bit, 1 or 2 pips, enter our UFO, and then from there bounce in the opposite direction. Okay, that would be our expectation, and this is the type of trade that we're gonna plan as we speak. Okay, now since it's looking good from a climate entry point of view, etc. So the moment I do that, this is when I say, okay, let's pause, let's rewind, and let's follow the process like on the flowchart. And the flowchart clearly states that first we work on the 60-minute time frame, and we do everything we have to do with the 60 before we switch time frames. Okay. So what do we do with the 60-minute time frame? The climate, we already did that. We gotta go to trade to the long side. What else do we do with the 60-minute time frame, which is the common time frame? We maximize it. Okay, we turn on AutoUFO and we look for targets. Okay, so where is the target here? Well, the target here, if we were to take a trade on this market, would be located where the red UFO is, which is 133.09. Okay, so I'm just gonna write it down. For the US dollar, Canadian dollar, we're gonna have a target at 133.09. Notice I'm rounding it down to 9. I'm not rounding it down to 10 because it's a sell order. Okay, we're gonna be selling at this price, and you sell to the bid. So we're gonna round it down. Okay, good. So that's it. I'm done with the 60-minute time frame. I will disable auto UFOs. Okay, and now what I'm gonna do, it's again, I'm gonna turn on again auto UFOs here on the 8-minute time frame, even though I don't think we have anything here, but we do have those UFOs starting at 132.81 to 132.79. It's very narrow if you think about it. Okay, we are talking about 3 pip range. Okay, it's very, very narrow. But yeah, that's what we got. So we're gonna trade it. You will not want to do this with a cross pair, where you would have much less liquidity. You want to do this with majors, where the liquidity is going to be fine. And for sure, make sure you use the proper broker to do this, because if the broker is giving you a spread of, let's say, 2 pips for the Canadian dollar, and your zone is 3 pips, so forget about it. It really makes no sense. You need to use a proper Forex broker to have very, very, very narrow spreads. Okay, you've seen me use pro accounts in the sessions, so I can have very, very narrow spreads. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's plan the trade. Okay, I think that we can write everything on the screen. Let's write everything on the screen, and I'm gonna do it in the format of the order panel. Okay, so we are looking to buy the Canadian dollar. The buying price will be 132.84. Okay, why 84? Because we take 81.7. First, we need to do an adjustment to the 4 decimal place. That would bump it up. Okay, that 1.7 becomes 2, so it would be 132.82. And then because it's a buy order, okay, we need to add a couple more pips extra to miss the fill. That's how I got 84. So 82 and 2 is 84. Okay, the stop is gonna be below. Okay, the stop is gonna be below 79. Okay. And the rule that we have, okay, so here's my 79. The rule that we have for stops is that we give ourselves a breathing room of 5 pips, and that will bring the stop down to 74. Okay, so really this trade has a risk of 10 pips, as you can see. Okay, and then finally we're gonna input the final target, which is 133.09. Okay, 133.09 is the final target. Okay, so basically you're risking 10 to make 25. This is a 2.5 to 1 trade. Okay, and certainly it's looking good in that sense. But remember, we also need, which I haven't put on the screen yet. Okay, we also need to add the safety target. Okay, and the safety target, it's very simple to calculate. Really, you take the risk, okay, which is, as we said, 10 pips. Okay, and once you know your risk, you take the entry price and you add 10. So 84 and 10, that's gonna be 94. Okay, so the safety target, okay, the safety target, it's going to be, okay, so safety target is going to be 1.3294. Okay, so I will leave this here for a second so you can take a screenshot where you have your entry, you have your uh, stop loss, you have your final target, and you have your safety target below. Okay, those are all the components of the trade. And I am now getting ready to place an order in the system using MT4. Uh, you have seen me probably in prior sessions utilize MetaTrader 4 on my phone when doing this, okay? And you probably remember that there are multiple reasons for that. You could certainly run first other platforms, or even if you use MT4, you can run MT4 on your computer screen. Um, you could certainly do that, and there is nothing wrong with that. But the reason why I'm going to use my phone instead is because that way I trick myself into separating planning from execution. Okay. And that way I become much less emotional in my trades. Okay. So here is the US dollar CAD. Okay. This is the place where you come to place the orders with MT4. Okay. What you can see here is my phone. Okay. The one thing I haven't calculated yet is the size of the trade. Okay. So let's say I want to risk $88 per trade. I'm just picking a random value here, but this is the one I use all the time. So let's say I want to go with $88 of risk for the whole trade. Well, that means that I'm going to go with half of this for my safety target, okay, which is 44, and half of this for my final target, okay? So it's going to be 58 micro lots for the safety target and 58 micro lots for the safety target, okay? This is what's going to be. And in that sense, 58 microlots with MT4. Okay, if you look carefully here where you can see the number 18, well, 18 is 18 microlots. 58 would be like that, 0.58. This is how you input 58 microlots on MT4. That's how you do it. Okay, so I'm going to enter this with a buy limit. Okay, the entry price is going to be 84. Well, actually, notice that we got 83 something. So I could actually do market execution and get a better price, but I will not do that until I get my stop in place, which is 74, and also my safety target, which is 94. Okay. So yeah, I got 82 available now. So I'm going to market buy 1, 2, 3. So I got half of the trade in. Okay. I'm going to do it again. So US dollar CAD, new order stop is going to be 74. And my final target, it's 133.09. Am I correct? Yes, I am. So still 82, which is better than 84. So I'm going to go buy market. That's it. I got my full size, which is 2 times 58, as you can see. Okay, I got 58 and 58. Okay, I got two 58s there. And the trade is in. They both have the same entry, both have the same stop, but they have different targets. This one is going to take profit at 133.09, where the other one will take profit at 132.94. So the one below is my safety target, the one above is my final target. Okay, that's what we got. Okay, and that's it. That one is now valid, and we are ready to go for the next one. Okay, so we're in the trade. We can come back later and take a look at what's happening to this trade with the Canadian dollar. I'm pretty happy that we just got filled. I love to get filled minutes prior to the US market open. I really love that because if you're right, you will know very quickly. If you're wrong, you will also know very quickly, and I certainly enjoy that. Okay, so what else do we have? And by the way, guys, give me a little bit of feedback if that's okay. How is it going so far? Everybody following? All is good? Am I going too fast? Were you able to input this trade? You know, etc., etc., etc. Okay, give me some feedback. That would be great. In the meantime, while you guys are typing, I'm looking at what is it that is being presented to us. I mean, 9 minutes ago, we got a new update on the climate. Okay, we got a new update on the climate. This made our Nasdaq to become hopeful. Okay, the Nasdaq is now hopeful. So not so interested on the Nasdaq any longer. I mean, to be honest, we can still trade during this the current candle. Okay, but yeah, as you can see, we don't have any green UFO at this price point. Okay, and yeah, that's what normally hopeful implies, isn't it? When a market stretches too much, typically we'll want to do some sort of a corrections that could be great enough in a sense of changing the climate, or maybe corrections that are not that great but still great enough that would imply a stop out. And in cases like that, you don't want to be in the trade, isn't it? Okay, so in the futures markets, we got a sensible there flashing, two sensibles with crude oil and the S&P, but also notice that we got gray color climates. So basically for those markets, we're going to have to wait the additional 4.5 minutes for us to reach 9:30 a.m. New York time, which is when new 15-minute candles, okay, will be produced on the charts, okay, and we will have a new opportunity to trade. But not as of yet. Okay, so back to Forex then. What do we have here? So here with the majors, everything we've got is hopeful. The only one is the one with the CAD, which that one we already discussed and we are in already. Okay, so we'll take a look at that one later. And then the place where we have a lot of flashing lights with many sensible words is right there. Even though out of all of these, okay, it seems that only one is confirmed. Everything else here is gray color. Climate is not confirmed. Everything else here is gray color. Climate is not confirmed. So basically, we got the Swiss franc, Japanese yen. This is the one trade that we should go ahead and check out to see if the Swiss yen is providing us with a trading opportunity. Again, using the 4-hour time frame climate. Okay, so let's go take a look at this one, and we'll see. Okay, so Swiss franc yen. Here we go. Here we go. So what do we have? Well, first we'll start with the climate. Okay, first we will start with the climate. And the climate, as you can see, it's, not a surprise. We saw that on the red screen. 3 candles into climates that should be 6 candles, okay? So certainly 6 times 4 hours. So we could be catching a 12-hour trade here, at least based on stats, maybe even more than that if the market was to overstretch. So that'd be nice, certainly for you guys intraday swing or swing traders. I'm sure you'll be excited to plan a trade on the Swiss yen. The question, as always, of course, is do we have the setup that we need? And the setup that we need starts with the EMA, which is currently trading at 112.55, where 112.55 is right there in the middle of that particular UFO. So guess what? We do have a setup. Price is entering the UFO, so actually it's nice. I love this. Okay, just like the case with the Canadian dollar a minute ago, the Swiss franc yen is also entering a UFO. So it's actually time to take a trade, assuming we're going to find a good target and everything else. It's time to take a trade, and it is looking good. Okay, it is looking good indeed. Everything is looking nice. Now, I will say that we got 54 is the bottom part of this UFO. Okay, 54, it's basically lining up with 53.6. And that brings you down to 51.5, okay, 51.5. So let me take a look at the range time frame to see if there is something below. No, nothing else. So basically, keep in mind that our entry is going to be the top of this UFO, okay? But instead of having a stop below 54, because 54 basically it's overlapping 53.6, okay? When you run it up, isn't it? So then we're gonna be looking at 51 as the reference price to set our stop below 51, not below 54. These are considerations when it comes to the entry. Okay, but again, the process tells us to look at the target first, in order to save a little bit of time when using time frames. In this case, we're gonna do everything with the 4-hour time frame first. Okay, I just like to confirm I do have an entry, because if not, I would also waste my time. So I like to kind of look down, look up, and then go back down. Okay, so that's how I function myself. Okay, so anyway, so maximizing Swiss franc yen, turning on auto UFOs, and this is telling us that that's not a great news actually. The target is located, or should be located, with the Swiss franc yen. The target should be located at 112.79. Okay, and I'm a little concerned because we're gonna be entering like at 50, so this is gonna be like 55, I believe I said. It's gonna be like, a 20 pip trade. So I'm not sure this trade will justify its risk. Okay, so we may need to invalidate the trade. But again, I don't want to have any sort of head trash either. So I'm just gonna continue with the process until the end, just sharing some thoughts as I am observing the market conditions. Okay, so the top here is, I just want to zoom in. Let me actually, I could disable the last value label and the countdown. So 112.62. Okay, yeah, so let's not waste our time. Okay, so 62 would be the entry. The stop would go below 51 by 5, so that's going to be like 45 or 46. Okay, so from 62 to 46, you got like 15 pips of risk. If I project 15 pips above, that's going to bring me basically where the target is. So basically my safety target is going to be the same as my final target. So yeah, unfortunately, the UFO that we saw earlier is too close. Okay, it's too close to our entry. The target is too close to the entry. Therefore, this trade is not really worth it from a profitability point of view. Okay, so what do we have? So we just passed the market open by 1 minute. I got distracted there a little bit. So what do we have in the futures side? Not too many new things. Still hopeful. That one is still sensible with a non-confirmed climate. So nothing new on the futures. Out of curiosity, since I got the Nasdaq chart open, I'm just gonna take a look. Oh yeah, and notice that the market open, it's pushing hard with this new pile of orders entering the market, and potentially we may see in 13 minutes a change of climate. We'll see. It would be expected if you think about it from a probability standpoint, but again, we never know. We want to trade evidence. We don't want to guess, so we're just gonna wait. Okay. Certainly, right now that climate is too extended, so I'm just gonna close these charts. We don't need them any longer as of now. Okay. So back to Forex. Okay. Let's see if we have any other opportunity to be identified or analyzed. Okay. So we got a near sensible with the pound, but it's not confirmed. Okay. So this one, because it's a 60-minute time frame climate, you would know if you have a trade or not later. Okay, but not as of yet. Okay, and what I do see is that we do have a new opportunity here, flashing with a confirmed climate with the New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar. Okay, which is great because we also have a trade with the US dollar, Canadian dollar, and this is an opportunity for us to look again at the Canadian dollar. Okay, now we gotta be careful too. Okay, when I said it's great, it is indeed great, but at the same time, it's also greatly dangerous in the sense that if I was to go long the New Zealand dollar CAD while I am long the US dollar CAD, basically I would be purchasing the US dollar and selling the Canadian dollar with this trade. And with the trade on the right, I would be purchasing the New Zealand dollar and selling the Canadian dollar. So if you listen carefully to what I said, you would be selling the Canadian dollar twice. You would be doubling your risk. Okay, so if you were already assuming full size risk in your account, then you would not be allowed to take this trade. Or if you haven't executed the one with the US dollar, Canadian dollar yet, then I would recommend you to use half of the size in both. Or last case, okay, maybe you are using one account to trade the 60-minute time frame opportunities, and you use another account to trade the 240-minute time frame opportunities, and then it would be fine that you take both trades. Okay, but all of these things are to be kept in mind, because obviously you don't want to go ahead and add too much risk to your trade. Okay, so quick look at the Canadian dollar trade. So the trade started moving in our favor. Okay, we are currently trading at 83. We entered at 82, so we are making like 1 pip. Okay, it's very little. It just started, so we'll see what's going to happen. It's always a nice thing to see when a trade begins moving in your direction. At the same time, you don't want it to influence you in any sort of way. No way. Okay. Because certainly, emotions can have you act on it in ways that are not aligned with your trading plan. The plan is to follow the rules, okay, and the rules is to either hit your safety target, or you can also use a time stop. That's another possibility for you to use a time stop. Okay. Now, if you use a time stop, okay, with the Canadian dollar, remember, we entered in this candle. Okay, so that was candle number 1. This is candle number 2. Okay, this is candle number 2. Remember, our safety target is all the way there at 132.94. So if from now until let's say 16 minutes later, well, actually it's 8 plus 4 is 12 minutes later. Okay, if from now until 12 minutes later we didn't reach 94, then one option you may want to consider is to close the trade with a time stop rule. Okay, so certainly that has made a lot of sense in many cases, even though specifically with Forex, I heard comments from some of you where you have developed other preferences. I know that some of you are using a 5 candle rule. I know that some of you are using an 8 candle rule. I know that some of you are not using any time stop in Forex, only futures. So it's all good. Everything got pros and cons. I'm just saying that some of you may be in time stop mode as we speak. Okay, but anyway, going back to the New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar 4-hour time frame trade. So let's see what we got. We got a new climate that just begins developing. Okay, so that's very nice. When looking at this climate and looking at where the EMA is, it seems, my friends, we have a setup again. So 85.79 is the location of the EMA. And guess what? This is right here where the UFO is. So if the New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar just falls a little, it's going to hit our entry point. And from there, you may be exploiting an up climate that just started and may expand up to 7 candles, 4 hours each. Okay, that's a pretty lengthy trade that is likely going to make some of you quite happy, assuming it's going to work well. If it doesn't work well, we'll have a stop protecting us. Okay, so the question, like we were doing a few minutes ago with the Swiss franc yen, is, do we have a valid target? Okay, so how do we know that? We maximize the 4-hour time frame. We turn on AutoUFOs and magic. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Our target here, looking nice here, 86.54. So there is a lot of room for movement. Okay, from 85.80 to 86.54. So we're talking about like 80 pip move. That's nice. Okay, that's a trade that may justify itself properly. So let me write it down. New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar, that's a swing trade with a target at 0.8654. Okay, that would be the target for this particular trade. Okay, so I am now undoing my steps, turn off AutoUFOs, restore down the chart, and now back to looking at the upper charts, where on the range time frame we got no UFOs. Okay, so no UFOs here, so easy, and therefore we're going to be using the UFOs on the upper left chart. By the way, you may have seen an error message that just flashed here on AutoUFOs. I noticed that recently when using Chrome, from time to time I get this type of message. Okay, loop takes too long to execute. This is probably something out of any update that they have done on TradingView that is not 100% compatible with Google Chrome. Something happening since just a few days. We've been looking into the code, and we don't find an explanation for this. And when running the code in parallel with different browsers, with the other browsers, it's not happening. So I'm guessing it's either something that has changed in Google Chrome or something that has changed in TradingView, or both, that is causing this issue. And I would also guess that maybe a few hours or a few days from now, this will be fixed as TradingView releases an update, or Google Chrome. Okay. In the meantime, if you get this error message, I mean, it's not that big as a deal. You just put your mouse on top of AutoUFOs, okay, and then when you see the little eye, okay, you just go where the little eye is. You click on it to hide the UFOs, and you click on it to show the UFOs again. And this is kind of like a quick way to do a reset, and then your UFOs will show on the screen again. Okay, so easy. Okay, so what do we have? So 83 would be the entry. Below 59, we're gonna have a stop. Okay, so instead of saying it, I'm gonna type it. So we are planning to go long the New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar, 85, 83, 83.4 would be the entry. Remember, we round to 4 decimal places. So round up because it's a buy order, so it's 84. And then precisely it's a buy order. We buy from the ask. The chart is the bid. We need to add 2. So it's going to be 86. Okay. So our entry 85, 86 with a stop located below 85, 59.5. We round to the 4th decimal place to 59. And then we add breathing space up to 5 pips, which is 54. So basically, we are dealing with a trade here with 32 pips of risk, okay? Where the final target would be located at 86.54. This is providing us with a profit margin of 68 pips. We're risking 32. So this is a 2.13 to 1 trade. That's what we got, and this is certainly good enough, okay? So we're gonna go for it. Okay, we're gonna go for it. And the last step will be to define the size of the trade. So if I said, okay, I want to risk $88 in this trade, so this is telling me that I would go for 36 micro lots of size. Of course, because we're going to use a safety target combined with the safety target combined with the final target, then we're going to do half of the size for each target. Okay, so it's going to be 44, 44, and therefore we're going to be dealing with 18 micro lots, which, as you all know, in MT4 you would input 0.18. Okay, so 18, 0.18, 0.18 for each order. And the one thing I haven't calculated yet is the location for the safety target, which is going to be 32 pips above the entry. Okay, so 32 pips above the entry. Okay, so you just take the entry price. I mean, we could do this by head, but just trying to show you different tools and ways on how to do all of this. So you got 85, 86. If you add 32 pips, 0032, okay, well, that basically brings you up to 86, 18. Okay, so 86, 18 is where you are out of risk, and then free trade all the way to 54, which is the final target. Okay, so keep in mind 18, keep in mind that value, that number, and while we keep that in mind, I am going to bring I'm going to bring MT4 on the screen so we can place that order. Okay. By the way, the trade is working in our favor right now. We are hitting 86. Okay, so we are 8 pips away from the safety target. So doing well at the moment. Nice to see. Okay. Anyway, so let's place the order. We are dealing now with the New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar. Notice that I don't have it in this list, okay? So I'm just gonna tap on the plus sign on the top. I'm gonna go for my FX Pro pairs. I'm looking for the New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar right there. So I'm just gonna tap on it. It disappeared from this list, and magic, it's now available in the bottom part of my quote list. So what do I do with it? Same thing I did before. Tap on it, new order. Okay, it's gonna be a buy limit. Size we said is gonna be 18. The entry price we said is going to be 85, 86. That's 4 pips below. Stop is gonna be 85, 54, and the safety target it's gonna be 86, 18. Okay, so quick review. We got let me show you this. Okay, so quick review. You have 86, that's 86. 18, that's 18. Your stop is that 54, that 54, and your target, which is well, in this case 86.18, is gonna be 86.18. Is that making sense? So it's all good, it's all set up. I believe I have made no mistakes, so it's all good. I'm just gonna tap place and the order will enter the system. I have it in, and now I'm just gonna do it again. Okay, so tap on the New Zealand dollar CAD. Notice that automatically it kept the 0.18, so I don't need to worry about that, even though good practices always look at everything from top to bottom. So buy limit, and then the size, and then the price, which is 86, so 85, 86, and then the protection, which is the stop. So we said 85, 54, and then the final target, okay, which is gonna be 86, 54. Okay, 86, 54, and everything is looking good. So 1, 2, 3, place order. Here we go. The order is in. Okay, and we have it in the system. Okay, you can see I got a collection of orders there waiting to get filled. Okay, and you know, everything else is right there. Cool. Okay, so back to the red screen. Let's see if we got anything in the Forex markets. We got 15 minutes to go. Okay, 15 minutes to go. We just hit 45. So multiple of the futures opportunities have been updated. Okay, because it's the 15-minute climate. So multiple of those opportunities just got updated. So what do we have? Crude oil, it's actually giving us a near sensible short and is confirmed. So let's go for it. Let's take a look at crude oil. CL. Now, I'm sure that some of you know what I'm thinking as I'm loading crude oil, isn't it? I'm gonna go take a look at bar charts, okay? Because they have a very handy futures table. Okay, so I'm gonna tap, click on energy, CL crude oil. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I wanna make sure I'm using the right symbol. Okay, and with metals, energies, agricultural products, there are many changes. Okay, you want to make sure that the place where you have the greatest volume and greatest open interest coincide, that letter H coincide with the letter H, and most importantly, that is the one you have on your chart. So bringing the chart, do I have H? Yes, I do. Okay, so I'm good to go. I am good to go. And guys, it seems that we are about to have a setup here. So we have a climate, okay, which is defined, 3 candles into what should be a 7 candle climate. 629 will run up to 7. So certainly, you know, we can ride a move for 4 more candles, okay, 15 minutes each. So we may have a 1 hour trade in front of us. The average is pointing at 97, okay, and 97 is certainly oh, wait a minute. Yes. I'm looking at this correctly. So the bottom part of this UFO is 95. The top part is 51.2. Certainly that is enveloping 97, which is in the middle. Okay. So we do have a setup. Okay. Now, 95 to 1, it is not. You know, overlapping 91. Okay, so basically we're gonna be relying on one UFO and one UFO only. Okay, and what I do need to find out before I place the order, okay, it's where my target should be. So I am quickly loading the 15-minute time frame of crude oil. Okay, got it. So here's what I'm gonna do. Notice that there is no green UFO below. Okay, it means that there is potential room for a lot of movement to the downside, but at the same time, I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to be too hopeful because, you know, in theory, this could drop forever because there is nothing to stop dropping. Okay, but at the same time, we are doing intraday trading, and we are not going to be there for more than 1 day. Okay, so I'm going to just trail stop for my final target. Notice I am about to click on 95, which is the entry. So I'm going to click on 95. My stop will go 03. Okay, 03, meaning that my safety target will be 87. Okay, 87. So let me see if I did the math right. So 5 and 3 is 8. And yeah, and 5 and 3 will bring it down to 87. So I got entry, okay, entry at 95, okay, which is where the UFO is. I got my stop at 03, which is above where the UFO ends. Then I got my safety target at 87, which is one-to-one distance. Okay, so it's as always. And then that's 75, which is the final target. Okay, that one I'm just gonna cancel it. Okay, cancel. That's it. Because if I was to place a safety target, it would be so far down, okay, that it would not be realistic. Okay, so it seems that I am about not realistic because I want to be in the trade for one day only. It's intraday. Okay, for the swing traders, it's a different story. So I'm one tick away from being filled in the entry. So hopefully I do get filled. By the way, shorting the oil, which I just did, is kind of being long, the Canadian dollar. So, it's kind of like my Forex trade and these trades are kind of related. Okay. So come on, crude oil, just drop 2 more ticks. Okay. That would be nice of you. And we're going to be out of risk in this trade. And then what I'm going to do here, if that's the case, is I will start trailing my stop, trailing my stop, trailing my stop. Okay, if that's the case. Okay, so 1 tick away from my safety target. Okay, let's see if the pressure gets us there. Okay, a little more, come on. That's it. We just got safety target, so we are out of risk in this trade. That was a quick one. Hopefully you guys are with me on this. But now notice the speed of movement here, okay? So as a reference, okay, use 80 as a reference. If we get to 160, we just did, I'm just gonna move my stop to 80, okay? Too far, too fast, okay? Now, if I get to 240, okay, if I get to 240, I'm gonna move my stop to 160 because I'm not having any UFO that is being formed since I entered the trade. Okay, so I am ready to do that if that was to be the case. I would prefer by far that a UFO forms. Okay, but this hasn't happened yet. So if I hit 240, okay, which is going to be 3 times my 1-to-1. Okay, we are 3 ticks away. Okay, come on, crude oil, give us a little push there. So here we go. So now we're gonna move stop to 160. Okay. Here we go. We got a new UFO 81. So hey, okay, let's not be greedy. 81 right above that UFO. That's where I'm gonna place my stop. Okay. So no matter what, I'm locking in $140. And apart from those $140, I already collected 80. Okay. So this trade, it's already on its way. But again, I don't have a final target. Okay. So I really, really need here UFOs to be formed. Okay. And I will get concerned about this only if, okay, I surpass 320, okay, 320, which is my next mark. So if I surpass 320, okay, are we going to get to 320 or not? Yes, so I'm going to move this to 240, okay, too far, too fast, okay, this is too far, too fast move. So I am shooting to maximize my profit. So what's the next one? The next one is 400. So let's see if we get to 400 or a UFO forms. Okay. You guys with me on this trade? Okay. Let me see if we get to 400. I would really love a UFO to form. Really, really love it. Because if it doesn't form, it's not going to be sustainable. And I'll be taking out at 240 plus 80 I made earlier. So it's going to be a $320 profit in this trade, which is okay. But at the same time, I would really like a UFO to form. So that would give way more chances for the trade to continue, for the climate to continue with its propagation. Okay. Nice. Take care, Orlando. Yeah. Bojan, good to hear that you're in the trade as well. I'm very, very happy that we had a green UFO and that green UFO is gone. Okay. That says a lot. Okay. All the buy orders got filled. So I am expecting that sell on field orders may be added anytime If that's the case, this trade could be a very, very, very nice trade with no green UFOs in the 15-minute time frame. If some red UFO was to show up here, we are really set for a very powerful trade. Okay, but if it keeps falling like crazy with no UFOs, then it's gonna bounce in the opposite direction. That's why we are using the too far, too fast trailing stop method, as you just saw. Again, if we get to 400, okay, we're getting close. If we get to 400 with no UFO, we'll move the stop down to 320. In the meantime, we're just letting crude oil do its thing. And again, worst case, it's going to still be a beautiful trade. But it'd be nice that not only it's a beautiful trade, it'd be nice that it's the best trade of the day. That would be even better. Okay, so we're just waiting patiently here. Okay, Mr. Market, define yourself. Very nice. Yeah, and I'm gonna stay with this trade just for a little longer, guys, because we may need to act on it. Some of you are in the trade, so I just want to make sure we manage it all together properly. And the session will be over in 5 minutes, and I just want to make sure that we conclude this trade properly. And certainly, I can always, as we did before many times, we can just leave the session, and I would give you instructions on what to do, and that's it. But at the same time, given the current price action, what you can see was falling like crazy. Then we got the green UFO show up. Then the green UFO went away. So what would be very, very normal is to see a red UFO show up for the continuation. Okay, and I want to act on it obviously because that's going to be the difference to get out at 240 or get out at much more. Okay, so let's see if that's what's going to happen. It's a big battle, okay? It's a big battle because we are dealing with 3 time frames, okay? And 2 of our time frames are microscopic, right? Because we got share bars and tick charts, and still we don't see UFOs show up. Okay, only a green showed up, and just for a little bit. So in other words, it means that there is tons of buyers, tons of sellers. They place orders, they get filled, they cancel orders, they replace orders. There is a big, big battle right now going on. Yeah. Yeah, Bojan, I'm reading your message. Gotta love it, isn't it? And I can see, even though I don't see you, I can see the smile on your face typing it. Yeah. Good. So just waiting. Come on, crude oil, define yourself. Okay. QM took you out because it was 50-70 moves in 25 increments. I got it. Still very good job, Bojan. Okay, still very, very good job. And by the way, one thing you could do, even though it would probably introduce a little bit of delay in your execution, but you could also work with conditional orders. Okay, so you can place an order to buy or sell QM conditional to the price of CL. Okay, so that's another thing you could do. That would not be a limit order. Oh, okay, I've been taken out as well at that price. So the trade is now concluded, and if you use 2 contracts like me, so that was a $300 plus dollar profit. Okay, and look at that. This is the beauty of the rules. Okay, what just happened after you got out? You got out just as you are being proven it was time to get out. Okay, again. We also many times, don't get me wrong on this statement, okay? This is not about bragging. Trading is certainly about being humble, not about bragging. So there are other times where I plan a trade, I'll be very comfortable and confident, and then I get stopped out. So this is part of trading. But at the same time, it's nice and it does boost your confidence when you get to see that you exit a trade and the rules that you have been utilizing did produce an advantage, okay? Because that's going to put you in a better position for the next trade. So just saying, okay, for the ones of you that have been practiced the methodology for a little longer, a little less longer, and you're still wondering about what about this rule, what about that rule. So I think hopefully this open your eyes. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So what do we have? What do we have? Let me see. What do we have? Yeah, so we don't have anything else. We don't have anything else at the moment. Yeah, we don't have anything else at the moment, given the fact that the flashing lights on the future markets, that's it. We took care of it. Yeah, the cross pairs, we took care of it as well. Yeah, and maybe I'll give that as a homework for you, because basically the session is over now. But well, actually not even that, because we do have opportunities here, but they're hopeful. Okay, I was, for a minute I didn't notice they were hopeful. So yeah, so that's it. Whatever the market was willing to give us in this 1 hour, we took it. Look at that, the euro contract is now flashing, but that's hopeful as well, so no opportunity. So yeah, just keep doing it yourself. Okay, keep doing it yourself. If you're gonna be trading for a little longer today, uh, keep doing it yourself. Apply the rules, keep up the good work, and so on. Okay, my friends, that's all I got. Any final question, final comment? Hey, Dwayne, how are you? Good to see you. Very nice of you to join us, even though you were busy with your webinar. Very nice. Cool. Yeah. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you, Mario. Thank you, everyone. That's it. So, guys, see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna be doing options. Okay, so be ready for that tomorrow, and see you then. Take care, everybody.